From a young age, my grandpa would always tell me and my brothers stories about his travels around the world. He would talk of his hunting trips, to his sightseeing trips, to even his just trips he'd gone to relax. I grew up around all these stories from a young age, from just when I began to learn how to comprehend things. And he would always enjoy telling me the most of his trips from Africa. He has been to Africa 18 times and has told me numerous stories about every last trip. He had always told me that it was his favorite place in the world, and I had no doubt in my mind that was true. He told me that if his wife would let him live there, he would live there. He spoke of the people, the lifestyle, the animals, the scenery, and much, much more. And he always said that when I was old enough, he would take me and my brothers and my family to go experience it with him. Well, a couple of years ago, I was finally old enough, and my family was old enough to come along with me to go visit Africa with my grandpa. I now have many stories of my own to tell. The trip was labeled a photographic safari, and we had everything booked and ready to go 2 years in advance. For the first year and a half, probably, I really wasn't too excited just because it was so far off in the distance. Once the countdown reached about 6 months, it hit me, and I got really excited. I would leave 3 days after school ended my sophomore year in high school, and it was now finals week. I had about a week and a half left before we set off, and the packing had started. Finally, it was the day that we would be leaving, and I was ecstatic. Our flight from San Francisco to London was overnight and took 15 hours. Once in London, we stayed there a day and a night, so despite our exhaustion and my sickness from taking these malaria pills on an empty stomach, we went out touring the city. The next morning, we left for our 15-hour flight from London to Johannesburg. Landing in South Africa was surreal. For one, it was the year that the World Cup was being played there, and soccer being my favorite sport, that was exciting. I could not believe that we were there. I was sick from the jet lag still, and the malaria pills I had taken on an empty stomach, but I slept it off in a couple hours, and since we were in Johannesburg, we went to go visit or tour the surrounding area. My favorite sport is soccer, and it was exciting being in the atmosphere of the World Cup. For the next 3 weeks, we would be flying around and stopping at little tent areas to camp at for a few days at a time, and then tour on little jeeps to area for animals. Between camps, we flew on small planes and landed on dirt runways, which really put in perspective how good we have it here. We went on cruises down rivers and visited school where the people have almost nothing, but are millions of times happier than the majority of people here. I would have close encounters with lions, see beautiful scenery, and visit the wonderful camps, have thrilling plane rides, and cruises down rivers, and of course being in the atmosphere of the World Cup was awesome. Throughout all the experiences I had throughout those 2 weeks, so the one that I'll pull from this the most is seeing the people there and how much different they are than us here. Most of the kids there have either AIDS or HIV, and their families have either died from those diseases, and they're orphans. But they are still happy with every single little thing they have, and they go about life much more positively than we do here. It was amazing seeing the faces on the kids as we pulled up to their school, and they ran out singing us songs, even though they were both dying, or even though they were all almost dying of illness. All these things are like really special to me, and I pulled them from here, and I come back here like having a different understanding about what life is, and just like how much we take for granted here. It was just significant seeing all the kids and how the people there are so much different than